realized her further skylined as incapable. The young woman looked worried as Rivka pulled her upright. Time for some gentle sparring. She looked slyly at Red. The two contenders always ended up in the ring last. Rivka was smaller, but a heavyweight in ability. She trained hard with Granger every chance she got. Being a magistrate was dangerous enough without going at it half-assed. "I'll get to you," she told him. "Come on, Jay. Let's work on some counter moves. Try to punch me in the head." Rivka raised her hands and bobbed lightly on the balls of her feet. The impact came before anyone saw the movement. Rivka's head snapped back and she found herself falling. She landed flat on her back and Jay rushed forward to kneel beside her, worry creasing her brow. "I'm sorry. I don't know what happened." Red reached down and yanked Rivka to her feet. "Did you see that?" he asked. "I saw nothing," Rivka mumbled. "How'd you do that?" "Maybe we should try the bag?" Lindy suggested, hoping to avoid being Jay's next victim. Jaida sat on the mat and hugged her knees. "I'm so sorry," she stammered. "For what?" Rivka asked. Jay mumbled unintelligibly. "Unc, we could use your expertise in the magistrate's gym. Jay's nanocytes are doing weird things," Rivka requested, using their internal comm system. "Interesting. I worked on the programming because we can't have her all bulky like the rest of you. I'll be right there," the Cornelian replied. Rivka shook her head at the reply. "Ankh is coming. He said we're bulky, and he couldn't allow Jay to be like us. Whatever that means. In the meantime, how about we do a little speed check?" "I like being bulky." Red flexed a massive bicep. "I'm not sure I like being called bulky, but there are advantages in our line of work." Lindy smiled at Red. "Our line of work," Red emphasized, swelling with joy at having found his soulmate. He gave her a quick peck on the cheek. "My big, bad bodyguard," Rivka cooed, flexing her bicep. "Am I bulky?" Red looked away and Lindy shrugged. "You have been saved from our fate, it appears. Come and take a shot at the bag. I think you're going to find a skill that none of us have." Jay reluctantly stood and faced off against the bag. She slapped it a few times. "Not like that." Rivka stood behind the bag, took hold and braced herself. "Hit it like you're fighting for your life. Practice how you play, as the saying goes." Jay bounced on her feet and punched, wildly but blindingly fast. The only sign that she'd swung was the sound of her hand hitting the bag. Dents appeared where she'd struck. With each impact, Rivka grunted from the shock. "Try to kick it," Red suggested. Jay bent at the waist as she executed a sidekick, sending Rivka off her feet to land in a heap. The bag swung freely as the magistrate laid on the floor. Jay hopped and kicked it again. No one saw her foot as the bag careened off the ceiling. She tried to catch it when it flew back toward her, hitting Jay in the chest and knocking her to the floor opposite Rivka. "Let me see if I understand this. You can strike at light speed, but get knocked over by a feather?" "We'll work on that," Ankh said. "How long have you been standing there?" Red asked, surprised that the Cornelian had snuck up on him. "Does that matter?" Ankh asked, looking up with his usual blank stare. Red shook his head and was first to look away. "I've programmed the nanos for maximum speed at the cost of strength. Jay will not have your density. Her muscles are optimized for something more in line with her personality. Speed will save her life, not strength." "I would like to think that her mind will save her life rather than any physical enhancements," Rivka offered. "I'd like to think that you won't put me in harm's way." Jay stood as tall as she was able, towering over the Cornelian but shorter than the other three. "Or Ankh." Red and Lindy waited for Rivka to answer. "Or that," she muttered with little confidence. Jay started to laugh.